I'm the perfect candidate to buy a new Model Y. I've owned the new Model Y for 2 years now. I love everything about it. I love Tesla. I love everything it does. I love the way it does it. Yeah, still, surely I'm the perfect candidate to go out and buy the new Model Y. Look, maybe you are too, right? But I haven't. I haven't put my order in yet. So why haven't I? Why haven't I put my order in for the new Model Y? And more to the point, why do I think you should think twice before you do? Hi, I'm Roscoe from Amazing EV, and tonight I'm at the workshop, and good place for thinking the workshop. But tonight I'm thinking specifically about whether I should buy the new Model Y, and so far I haven't convinced myself. So let me tell you why I think the new Model Y is not the natural upgrade after only 2 years of ownership. Why I think there's other options out there. Why instead grabbing yourself a bargain like a 1 to 2 year old used Model Y, which are almost in perfect conditions with really low kilometers, is a great idea. Well, one of the run-out models is still on sale with Tesla, old stock, still 2025, but on sale to the end of March.
That's amazing.
Or if you own a Model Y like me, just keep the one you've got. Look, I must admit, I wasn't that excited when I saw the new Model Y for the first time. I mean, not even surprised. It was coming and it had been leaked and anticipated, and we knew there were some going to be cosmetic changes to it. And perhaps the front was more of a surprise than I thought, even though it shouldn't have been, given what we've seen in the past 6 months. And it's always a big deal when Tesla releases a new car, right? I mean, but in this case, it was so low-key, it was almost ridiculous. It wasn't there one day, next day it was on both the Chinese and the Australian websites. No fanfare, no big announcement, typical Tesla style. The world's biggest selling car, sedan, gets replaced and there's no press release, right? For me, the Model Y, which is probably designed, look, almost 10 years ago now, probably back in 2015, was way ahead of its time, but it did take a while for me to fall in love with it. It was not love at first sight, that's for sure. Mrs. Amazing loved the interior of the Tesla. She just thought it was so simple, so clean, and it just really appealed. I wasn't that fussed. It was a different beast. Perhaps I was looking for something a bit more like my old European car. But now, 2 years on, I love this car. I love the goggly-eyed face. I love the bum. I love the style. I love everything about it. The simplicity of the interior. It has character, and at the moment, the new Model Y just doesn't have that character. Look, I'm sure the new frontal treatment on the Model Y will grow on me, but look, at the moment, I'm not convinced. And no, I haven't seen it in the flesh yet. Like any facelift, it's got to be done really carefully and with great detail, because for me, the original is always going to be the best. I can't find a single photo anywhere on YouTube or anywhere else that shows the union of that bumper, the hood, the daytime running lights perfectly right. Now, maybe it is in the flesh, and I look forward to seeing the car when it finally gets here into Australia, and maybe it's everything electric, who knows. And those new 20-inch wheels are a 1-inch increase from the old ones, and certainly the old hubcaps had some critics, that's for sure. The new design's more like the Helix from the old Model 3, and look, again, to me, not distinctive and not futuristic enough. And you can see what I've done with mine, how I've solved this problem, and for me, it's usually 9 out of 10 thumbs up for people that are passing by and seeing the car. We've also had a chat to our friendly Tesla repair centre at Sydney Prestige, and I'll leave the link down below. If you have any scratch or dent, these are the guys to take care of it as authorised Tesla repairers. But look, daytime running light bar right across the front. Sure, I just get the feeling it's going to be a little bit more expensive, and those lower lights, the lights are set in underneath in the corners there. They're going to cop it a bit more as well from stone chips and just general damage on either side. And that complete light bar at the back again, from experience having, run into a bollard with all the warnings and having to have my trunk or boot replaced or hatch. And because it is up so close to the back bumper, it is going to hit every time you hit a bollard from behind. So they have made some attempt to extend the bumper out, give you some sort of protection. But if it does get through that and on a reasonable impact, it's going to hit the light bar, and a light bar is going to be more expensive than single lights every time. So again, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I just don't think the treatment of that spoiler at the back as a separate plastic unit and not integrated into the boot this time, clearly to save money in stamping and pressing, and the light bar, even the way it streams down onto the ground, and the design of that new bumper, I'll take the original every time. Underneath the bonnet, there's been no major announcements of any huge changes this time. Look, we all know the Model Y has had multiple changes in battery technology depending on models and upgrades, little bits and pieces and tweaks to battery and motor. But with the new Model Y, there's no new massive increase in range, just minor incremental improvements thanks to Aero, and no changes in motor tech. So we're happy with the old Model Y. We've got plenty of power, plenty of range, we've got everything we need. I just can't imagine needing much more at the moment. But I'm sure there'll be more to come with Tesla. I'm sure Tesla hasn't reached peak battery or peak motor yet. There's also no doubt in my mind that it's about time Tesla started to make some money off both the battery and the motor tech as well. There's been a hell of a lot of development go into it in the last 10 years, and it's about time they started to make some money off it. So it was probably a natural progression that wasn't where the improvements were going to be. They've got to start getting some money back and make some profit on the capital expenditure they've outlaid for battery manufacture and motor manufacture. And I guess this is the way they do it. And a key one for many people is certainly the suspension. There's been some upgrades on the new one which have got to be an improvement over the old one. Certainly a car that, compared to previous cars, it certainly makes you hunt around for the smoothest roads in Sydney, which is not always easy. Inside, no, we haven't experienced it yet, but I'm sure it's much like the new Model 3, new seats, new trim, new feel, new dashboard, new LEDs, which again, we're not fans of, so we can take it or leave it. New screen in the back, new electric fold down seats. I'm perfectly happy with the Model Y that I've got, and yeah, it's got some ups and downs, but you know what the biggest question I ever get is it going to be too hot with that sunroof? And I've been thinking about buying a cover, an internal cover for it the last 2 or 3 years, and after spending a lot of time driving around in the sun in summer, it just hasn't got that hot. And the aircon just does a fantastic job of keeping things cool. It is an outstanding system. Automatic mode just works for me. It keeps the temperature pinpoint accurate. And of course, they've listened to customers, and with the new Model Y, we get one stalk back again.
That's actually quite nice. And we listened to the customers on this. Is we brought back the stock for the indicators. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
But guess what? The old Model Y's got 2 stalks. And I tell you what, there's nothing better than changing gear with the right stalk and also having it in single tap mode to change into auto cruise control. On the highway, it's just so natural, so easy, so fast, and I use it all the time on Sydney highways and Sydney freeways, and it is pinpoint accurate. It can drive better than I can most of the time. And of course the cost is up as well, and there's a release model, and they're going to put the cost up because it's rare again and it's new, and it's what any marketing company or marketing machine would do. And Tesla's been masters of it, meeting price with demand and supply. So I'm not surprised about that, and it has got a lot more features than the old one, but it's back up to around about $70,000 on the road, which is what it was a couple of years ago. But what's really important here is I've really grown to love this Tesla, and I'm not talking about the company or the owner, I'm talking about the car. It's something I really love being in. I really love driving, and I really enjoy the experience of an EV, right? It's just fantastic. It's miles ahead of where I was in my old petrol car. It was a big step forward for me, a huge leap. And in this case, I jumped straight in the deep end and swam or drove as fast as I can to make this experience work. There's been plenty of challenges along the way, and finding chargers, not having a charger at home at one stage, making sure I could go on country trips, making sure I could find Tesla chargers, making sure I could find any charger. But you know what? I committed because I fell in love with this car and I overcame any challenges. And it's just been a fantastic experience. I just love driving it. I spend hours and hours driving to all sorts of places, appointments, interstate. I've been to Brisbane and back. It's no problem. Anything anyone's ever said to me as an objection to owning an EV has been a breeze in this car. I'd never go back to a petrol car, ever. Stop you buying a Tesla at the moment? I know sales do seem to be down in Europe, in China, and definitely Australia. Perhaps that's because people are waiting for the new Model Y. Perhaps it's because of Chinese New Year in Asia, and there's so much pent-up demand for the new Model Y with huge numbers of orders. But is it affecting you? I mean, we're not ready to sell, but is it affecting our decision to buy another one? And there's certainly a hell of a lot more competition out there now than there was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was Tesla, BYD, Polestar. There was really only three to choose from, and now there's a plethora of fantastic new Chinese cars. But if I was in the market for a car just like this at the moment, would I buy the new Model Y, or would I look at something different? Certainly plenty of other options from different brands out there at much more competitive pricing. Perhaps I'd look at a late model used Model Y. There's plenty for sale around the $45,000 to $50,000 mark, done 20,000, 30,000 Ks with one owner. They're almost like brand new. That's the sort of place I'd be looking if you really were wanting to get a real deal, a real bargain on Model Y. Alternatively, Tesla have still got some fantastic brand new 2025 old model stock. Clearance, run out if you like, still around that $55,000 range, a hell of a lot cheaper than the new model. And that's even before you start looking at all the other cars around that $55,000 mark that have just been introduced on the Australian market. But if you ignored everything I've said so far and still gone out and ordered your new Model Y, we congratulate you. But if you need to sell your old EV, Model Y, Model 3, any type of EV, please check out our amazing ev.com.au, our dedicated used EV marketplace, where you can list your car and we'll do everything we possibly can, photos and video, to try and sell it and get a result on the private market, which is going to be better than a trade-in. But if you haven't, maybe you, like me, are still in love with the old Model Y and you're not going to sell and you're going to keep it. We congratulate you because they are a fantastic car. I'm Roscoe and we look forward to seeing you next time.